Hello, class of 2021. My name is Morgan, and I am a graduating senior from the class of 2020. I know when I was starting the EE, I definitely reached out to a few seniors that I knew from the class of 2019 for a little bit of advice, and I found it really helpful. And having gone through the process, I thought I would record this video to give a couple of bits of knowledge that I learned through the process that I think could help you guys out. A little bit about my EE. My supervisor was Miss McNamara. I did it in the psychology subject area, and it was basically about whether sexual infidelity, aka cheating, is more due to nature or nurture. So, my first specific piece of advice is that you should definitely work on it over the summer. Your rough draft is likely due in the middle of September. And I know a lot of people who said they were going to work on it over the summer and just kept putting it off, and ended up doing it, a week or 2 days or the night before it was due, the rough draft at least. And you might think, oh, well, I'm busy right now. I'll just do it when the final draft rolls around because I have a few more months. I just don't want to do it right now. But the problem that a lot of people I know experienced is that when you turn in a bad rough draft, your advisor can't really give you much advice on what to change because it's just so bad. And I'm sure you'll think it's bad, they'll think it's bad. It's just a no-go all around. And if you don't know what to change when it's time to write your final draft, there's not really much you can do, and it ends up being bad, and it's a burden on you, and it's a waste of your time, to be honest, because you're not getting anything out of it. So I'm being super honest when I say it really starts with your rough draft. I personally outlined and I gathered my sources and analyzed everything in July and August. Gathering my sources took a lot longer than I thought it would. It actually took a couple of weeks. And then I wrote in from the middle of August to the middle of September. Not every day, obviously, but I usually on the weekends I wrote like with my friends in coffee shops and things like that. And I really enjoyed the process. And I got a lot more out of my meeting with my advisor because I actually knew what to change. Going off of that, after you turn in your rough draft, you have a meeting with your supervisor about what they're advising you to revise about your final draft. I don't know if that sentence made sense, but you get what I'm saying. I definitely recommend that you take notes during this meeting. I didn't, and I really wish that I did, because you have this meeting with your supervisor in the beginning of October usually, and then personally, me and a lot of people I know didn't look at their essay for another month or 2 months because you're busy with college applications, and the final draft isn't due until December or January. After it had been 2 months, I didn't remember everything that Miss McNamara told me that I should change, and my friend didn't even know a single thing about what she was supposed to change, and that can really be to your detriment as well. So I definitely recommend you take notes. Some supervisors will write notes for you on a hard copy, but trust me, that's not enough. They'll say things in that meeting that aren't written down, and I strongly recommend that you maybe record it or write it down so that you remember when you pick it up again. Also, I wanted to say you should definitely take advantage of example extended essays. I asked a few seniors from 2019 if they would send me their essays, and they did, and I really benefited from them. Obviously, you shouldn't plagiarize them, but I saw how they were supposed to be structured, what kind of analysis they did, and I could see how to bring that type of analysis into my paper. And I also found a few online. There are some like IB Helper websites that you can find some extended essays. And I recommend that you look at some in your subject area, like psychology or health science or whatever, but also maybe one or two outside your subject area. But it makes the 4,000 words way less daunting. So I would definitely advise you ask some seniors from my graduating class or look online. And I know that Miss Spencer has a binder. They usually keep a binder of all the essays that got A's and B's from the previous year. And you can look at those too, although you can't take those home, but they are really helpful. My other piece of advice I wanted to say is that your research question can and should change multiple times throughout the process. I know mine changed probably about 10 or 15 times, and I don't mean that I changed my whole topic, but just changing one or two words or just changing one verb or something like that makes your question that much more specific and that much more tailored to your writing, and it really, really helps you when it comes to the grading process, when the IB graders mark your essay. And you need to make sure, I know Miss Spencer will say this a million times, but you need to make sure that your question is as specific as it can be, and just changing one word can do that for you. And I know I changed it a million times during my rough draft, and for my final draft, my writing ended up going in a place that deviated from my question a little bit, so I just changed my question. I just tweaked it, and it ended up working out a lot better, in my opinion. I wanted to sum up by saying you should try to enjoy the process. I know research isn't for everyone, and writing long papers isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I really enjoyed it, and I think if you really manage your time and develop a good relationship with your supervisor, and find good sources and pick a topic that you're interested in, I think that you could have some fun doing it, and at least if you don't have fun, you might at least learn something from it. But to sum up, the biggest piece of advice is the thing I said at the beginning. You have to put in effort at the beginning of your extended essay process, because that really sets the tone for the next 6 or 8 months that you're working on it, and you don't want it to be a burden, because it's kind of a long time to hate something that you're writing and have to do it when it takes up a lot of your life. But I know that your essays will turn out great, and I'm really excited to hear from some of you about how it goes. And make sure you reach out to your support system. Miss Spencer, Miss Sunan, and your supervisors are all there to help you. Even IB teachers who aren't your supervisor, most of them have supervised extended essays before, and they can help you, and they're really supportive, especially in TOK. So trust the process, and I know that it'll end up okay.